Olivia Olkowski is a shamanic healer and teacher in both the Peruvian and Mayan traditions. In this segment, we will be discussing Olivia's really long and rich path to sacred healing. Welcome, Olivia.
Hi, Kathy.
Nice to have you here.
Great to be here, back in Brooklyn.
Back in Brooklyn, yes. Yeah, Brooklyn. We're going to be starting with this healing technique that we've talked about before. Can you tell me a little bit more about what we're going to be doing?
Well, in many traditions, they have use of a candle to help remove energies from the energetic bodies. The Mayan and Peruvian traditions are very similar. Also in Mexico you find this, where a healer, a curandera, will use a candle to remove energies from the illuminated bodies. And in our energy field, we hold a lot of our emotions, life experiences, and it can get clogged up. So a candle is a great way to absorb that energy from our energy fields. The physical body, the emotional body, the mental body, and the etheric body. We are going to demonstrate it, but first I'd like to talk about, how does an object relate to the body? If you look at the wick, there's a center point similar to our spine. And the wax of it is our body mass. So when we set our intention of allowing to release from our energy fields all our worries into this candle, it transmutes into it. It gives it somewhere to go. And anyone can do this. It's nicer to have somebody do it for you so you can just let go. But to maintain myself, I do this every once in a while to make sure I'm clear. So do we want to...
tell me a little bit more about that candle. Is there anything specific or special about that candle?
Candle should be white.
Okay.
White is always a sign of purity for many cultures. And it is absence of color, or you could say it has all color, either way you look at it. Mm-hmm. Like a prism is clear, but yet when you turn it, and the refraction of the rainbow comes out. So a white candle would be used. If you can get a beeswax candle, which is even more powerful because it's of a natural product. This is a regular paraffin candle you can get from anywhere. Mm-hmm. Any other questions on?
No, I don't think so. So what we're going to do is we're going to just rub it all over us, and then what are we going to do with it?
Well, I'd like to talk a little bit more on why somebody wanted to do it.
Yeah. I'd love to do that.
So somebody, I do healing work, and say somebody lost a loved one. That grief and sorrow can stay in our body, in the lungs, in our energy field. And yes, people cry and we go through the process, but there's still that residue within us. And by just working with the candle, it will help lighten that load. So that's one similar, easy example. If you work in a tough office with a lot of angry people, or it's super rushed.
Or you live in New York City.
And ride the subways next to everybody in their energy fields. Yes, and if you're super sensitive, people who are empathic tend to take on other people's energies. When I do healing work, my body's a Geiger counter to find out what's going on in the person's body. And I have tools like this to help clear myself, because you don't want to physically take on everybody's stuff. So those, and especially our children, actually, the children being born now are super sensitive and intuitive. And as a parent, it's an easy way to cleanse your kids so that they're not going to be so hyperactive or withdrawn. It alleviates the stress.
Mm-hmm. So when we do this practice, what we're going to do is we just get any candle. White's preferred.
Yeah, white or regular beeswax.
Okay, and then we're going to rub it over us, and then afterwards, and then what do we do with it?
Okay, so there are a couple different ways. you go up and down through Peru, and the northern Peru operates different from central Peru, and Cusco operates different. And so northern Peru, they actually melt down the whole candle in a pot. And then they pour it into cold water. And then they read it, like tea leaves reading, and they can diagnose of what came out. For the everyday person, you would put your energy into it, and then in a candle holder, you light it and burn it and let it burn down. And the flame sometimes goes really high if you have a lot of stresses going on in your life, and if you did a good job putting stuff into the candle, releasing it. Sometimes if you light it and you did too good of a job, it won't light.
Oh, huh.
So it took on so much energy that the flame won't even light. What you could do is then take a second candle and do even more. I would bury this one into the earth. If it's not lighting, give it back to Mother Earth, and then burn the second one. That will burn away. It also helps with getting rid of ancestral stuff. My teachers from northern Peru, they taught a certain ceremony, and we worked with a white candle, a red candle, and a green candle. But it was working on pulling out the DNA stuff from our ancestral patterns. Very powerful ceremony. And they use a white candle for most of the work. One for the masculine side and one for the feminine side, the mother side.
White.
And both white.
Huh. Interesting. Interesting. So let's try that then.
Okay, so we're going to stand up. You want to start from the crown. First, you want to center yourself. If any tradition, you just take a few breaths. So you can close your eyes if you need to do that. Connecting to the earth and the heaven above. And what you do is start to roll it over your body from the head and allowing yourself to really put in any worries, any aches or pains into the candle. And don't forget to breathe. And make sure you do your head a lot in the back. In this back area here, we hold a lot of stuff. In shamanic traditions, they believe this point in the back of the head is where spirit enters. So if somebody had fright or soul loss or traumas, it can be affected back there. So we do rub back there a lot. And you want to be able to go over the front of your arms. If you had any injuries, you know, broken wrists or whatever, put that extra in there. Breathing
and,
and
if you
releasing.
have ache or pain or something, would you do it there too?
Ache or pain, you could rub it a little further, lower back problems.
And, am I jumping the gun? Do we do our body
No,
too?
we do our body.
Okay.
You do the arms, the
Okay.
front and the back of the arms, the torso, and you work your way down like you're scrubbing with suds or something.
Okay.
Washing a car from the head down.
Okay.
And avoiding the mic, of course.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And I definitely work a lot on the kidneys by working back here, because a lot of fears of ours stay in the kidneys. And really, if it's emotional stuff, you know, you're overwhelmed, you go down the front of the legs, down the back of the legs.
And how long do you do it for?
I would say anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, you should be done easily. And at the very end, you can,
Can I do my face?
through your third eye, clear up some junk there. Definitely. I would do my face and stuff in the beginning. For women, definitely under the armpit.
Really?
We hide a lot of secrets there, men and women. And there's one point for breast cancer down here, which is so important.
Huh.
So we want to remove any secrets we're hiding in our armpits.
Huh. Interesting.
And of course, if somebody was sexually abused or something, you want to do your personal areas, your private area. And at the very end, then we do the bottom of our feet.
Can I sit and do that? No? I
You
should
can,
stand?
just a little bit. I know some of the Thai temples, you're not supposed to go in with bare feet and ever face your feet to the temple. It's taken as being rude. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of energy comes out of our feet, and that's why we want to do that last. And then what we do is we light it, and we can put it in our holder. Mm-hmm. And there is a whole art to candle reading. So see how small your flame is? It actually would be a little bigger.
Mm-hmm. If what? If I put more intention in it?
No, no, no. Normally.
Oh, normally.
Actually, we could burn one that we didn't even touch.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just see real quick.
As a comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it's already
it's
taller.
Up pace too, yeah.
There's a breeze in here.
And so is there anything you can see by these flames? I mean, they look pretty much the same, right?
In the inside, there's a darker brown color, and it should be a yellowy orange. So I can tell that we both pulled out a lot of stuff. The quality of the flame, if it's split at the front, which mine is doing, is showing a spiritual connection.
Huh.
And the breeze is not helping you. But yeah, yours is doing that too, flickering. If color's in there, like say there's green in there, it means that there's envy being sent to you from some other people. If the head is being poked out a bit for too long, that means there's so much stuff going in your mental body and might need to balance. And as the candle burns, it's actually burning away the stuff that we pulled out. If there's a lot of drips, it is like tears. So a lot of sorrow energy is being pulled out. Yeah, we did a good job pulling out because it's more brown than a yellow. It should be.
Brown is good. I mean, because
it's the junk.
Yeah,
it's
so it
the
means
junk.
that we got a lot of stuff out.
And again, every tradition has their own. You know, the very center. If you put your hand there behind it, you can see. It's got the blue flame, which is the hottest, and it should be more of an orange. So now it's getting a little better on mine. Yours is too. It's lightening up. Notice how dark it was in the beginning, right?
Yeah, very dark.
So
it's true. We're getting more orange now. Okay.
So the top of the flame is your head. So this little portion here is also a representation of your body. And you can see if something's bent over, I'll say, oh, you have lower back problems or something.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And how often can we do a practice like this?
Depending on how stressed out you are.
So like if you're really stressed, this is a good thing to do?
You can do it daily. I wouldn't think daily you need to, but weekly. If you're a healer, definitely I would do it weekly.
You have drips.
Yeah.
What did you say that meant?
Sorrow.
Sorrow. Interesting.
That could be my clients.
A long trip to Brooklyn?
No. And so I will do this for a client, we'll do this and have it burn, and then say I'm doing some other medicine work on them. When things start to open up for them, like to talk about the emotions, the candle will flicker. Like if they're talking about their father that, was really angry with them their whole life, it starts to burn away that energy too. Right. So it's kind of a Geiger counter of what's going on in the person as we're speaking to release the energies too.
Yeah. So normally I think we would let these sort of burn down completely, right?
Correct. On your own.
On your own.
Yeah.
So we can we blow them out now? Because
Yeah.
So normally we just burn them all down.
Burn it all down. Do not leave it unattended, and don't leave it near a curtain. Yeah. Don't put it on a shelf because the flames can go very high at different points. If you have to leave and for a short time, then put it in your kitchen sink that's stainless steel with nothing around it, but leaving it lit to burn all the way down.
And then what do you do with the stump?
It should burn all the way down. If you do have a stump, you put it out into the earth and the garbage, or let it recycle back in.
Okay.
Not garbage, but, sorry.
Put it in the earth.
Put it into the earth so the earth can pull out the rest of the energy. And in 3 days' time, you can pull it out and then put it in the garbage.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
So tell me, where did you learn this? I mean, you sort of mentioned the sort of general where it came from, but where did you personally learn
This tradition is from they're called the twins. They're Peruvian, two curanderas outside of Lima in Chiclayo, and their names are Isabel and Olinda, and they're gifted healers that work with San Pedro medicine and different types of limpia. Limpia is meaning clearings.
Clearing, yeah.
And they work with plants, they work with candles, they'll work with eggs. Many traditions use that too. And they, actually people come to them and heal from their cancer. Yeah.
Just through the Olympia?
From their herbals and
From
their whole stay, their whole medicine that they present.
So we did it with candles. You said that we can also do it with eggs.
You can, a lot of traditions, and they also do with eggs to work on your body.
So same thing.
Similar way, again with the head, working over the heart and different areas to really bring out. And again, different traditions might crack the egg open and read it. Others will just bag it up and not want to see it. So it varies, you know, from Ecuador to Peru, Mexico. Everybody has their tradition also with eggs.
And what about the flowers?
And the flowers in the Peruvian tradition of the Altiplano in Cusco area, the Sacred Valley, they will use the carnations, white carnations and red carnations, to balance the masculine and feminine. The white is the masculine and the red is the feminine. And you work also over the body in the same manner. With the white first, you go from the head and allowing the flower to absorb and take away that energy.
And you just use one flower, or you'd use a couple
you
of
use
them?
a small bunch.
Okay.
And if you want to take it yourself, we could sit and do this, just do a little demo. And if you smell them, carnations specifically help with removing sorrow. If you look in the flower remedies that are out there, most of them will say that it's for removing grief and sorrow. So as we work, you kind of do like a rattle.
Oh, it's more like tapping.
It's a little tapping to bring it into the flower.
I kind of like it.
And it smells nice, you know, over the face. Relief, when I do a cleansing limpia in the beginning with this for people, you feel 20 pounds lighter, you know, whether you're putting it into the candle or having the flowers absorb that energy from you. So it's the same thing you go over, and of course it's nicer when somebody else does it to you.
And then after you do the tapping, then what
I mean, you could also then start to stroke, but over the head I always do tapping. And then on the body you can tap still, but also, you know, on the skin is best too, more skin to pull it out. Our skin is our largest organ.
So I suppose if the candle's the same thing, right? If we
candle is actually pretty good. It can be with the clothing, but you want something natural, organic, or cotton. So we do the white, same, and then same with the red.
Oh, and you do both colors?
You do both colors.
Oh, okay.
You do the white first, go through your body, because it's trying to bring balance to the masculine and the feminine in you. And at the end, you know, if we're standing, we actually stand on the flowers out through our feet again. So it's so interesting that so many different traditions have a similar way and also the ending with clearing the feet.
And then what do you do with the flowers?
The flowers then you can offer to a tree and let them absorb and eat that energy. Our hucha, as it's called, our dense energy, is almost like nectar to the nature spirits. So don't feel bad that you're giving your junk to them. It's like mana, is that the right word? Where they can eat off of it, and it actually raises their vibration.
So you just leave it by
Leave it at the base of a tree or somewhere in nature.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. I think I may have told you this story. I'm not sure, but I had met an Ecuadorian man a while ago, friend of a friend, and I had just been meeting with all these shamans and stuff. And I said, "So, do you have shamans, in Ecuador?" And he went to university here, so he's well educated. He's like, "Oh, you mean those people with the hats and the drums and stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess, yeah, maybe." And he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." And he was kind of a little dismissive, but then in a moment, he told me about Olympia and how he has a little son who's sort of really sensitive, and when he brings him to parties or to events or whatever, the kid gets kind of hyper and can't sleep at night. So he'll get out the egg and rub an egg over the little boy, and then the little boy can sleep peacefully. And then in addition to that, in the way he learned it was the woman, I don't remember if there was a name for her, but she comes on Tuesdays and Fridays or something every week, and then you bring your kids and the kids get the cleaning. So it was kind of a funny little, like at first he was very like, "Oh, no. But then when I started talking to him, it was like so part of their culture.
It is very part of their culture. They don't think of it as woo-woo.
Yeah.
Because their grandmothers did it.
Right.
It's in the kitchen, you grab an egg, this kid's out of control. Yeah, clear it.
Yeah.
But his son is very empathic and maybe, is absorbing too much from people. So, it's very much part of their culture.
Yeah. And he wasn't like that. The other stuff, it was like a little, I think, woo-woo for him or a little out there. But this was like completely natural and normal. Of course he would take the egg and rub it over. It was kind of sweet. It was very nice.
And same for the, Agua Florida, the flower waters that you can make your own from even just lavender water.
Oh.
That's also very much used it's almost a replace of this when you do the kamai, the spray.
I don't know what that is. Tell me more about that. So you have a flower water.
You can take a flower water and then you're spraying it, you're not spitting on it, you're blowing over it, but it creates a mist around a person, and that changes the energy field too.
So somebody does that to somebody else. And are there like different types of flower water that you use for different things, or?
There are. I mean, the most common it's just called Agua Florida. It's a flower water with a bunch of flowers. There's Kayanga water, which is more for the, it has a very sweet smell to it. There's also a rose water. Rose water deals with, things of the heart to bring that love energy back into a person. I mean, I make my own organic one because I use it in my mouth, and some of the ones that are made are harsh.
And you don't know where they come from.
Right. And they also use rum.
Oh, can we do, never mind. We can do some shots of rum while we're sitting here.
No.
It's just like, no shots of rum.
That is also called a kamai or drago, where you spray over the energy field. And the rum actually has a different result that somebody measured once, that in our energy field we carry our emotions and life experience. And what happens when I blow the rum over you, it changes your free radicals into, let's say it's O1 for oxygen, it changes it into O2, real oxygen. It repairs it. So it's almost like when you go to the beach, you have that, you're breathing that good air and you feel better. It's the same thing for blowing the rum.
Oh, interesting.
It changes your energy field.